Bitch, I'm back. I'm popular the man.
Hey y'all, what's good? Hey everybody, we back at it again, and y'all already know what's going on. It is season 2, and we're here.
The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off.
Let me make a circle of love.
So, we've missed y'all.
Stop lying, Renata. Been busy.
I've been busy, but we miss doing this.
I'm sorry, I sound like a man. I am sick. I've been sick again. Oh, jeez.
Naiju.
What? Stop it. Just scandalous.
Oh, my jaw.
Anyway, so for season 2, I guess it's gonna be a bit more chilled.
It's gonna be very chill. Yeah. Fun.
Yeah, we kind of got the hang of it from the last time. Mm-hmm. So we got better episodes. We got guests.
Yeah, we're gonna have some guests coming.
Like a handful of people. Plus, we got like some surprise mini episodes and stuff.
I think you guys will love it, and it's holiday-ish.
Yeah, we got like holiday mini episodes. Plus, there's like the whole "she's just not that into you" type thing.
Yeah, we bring in some different. We did our research. Zee did most of the research.
Thank you.
But you guys will love it. It's very interactive. So for this season, you'll be blown away. But more so, we need you guys to give us some feedback. Let us talk. Let me know what's going on.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
The Rite a Passage podcast.
So you just don't forget, because it's a new...
Right, I forgot. Love me. Right, plus you can follow us individually. The Irony of Z.
And Renata Burnett, which is my government name.
Anyway. So, on to today's episode.
And our topic for today is side effects of the 20s. If y'all get the 20s, y'all already know what it is.
You make it sound like a disease and they're going to die from it, honestly.
So how old are you? 19. Oh, you can get the 20s.
I heard for like 3 years. It's rough out here.
Yeah, I get the 20s long. couple years.
Yeah.
So basically, both of us are in our 20s. How old are you, Z?
I just told you I got 20s for like 3 years. I'm 23.
So we're supposed to do the math instantly?
Yes, I'm 23 years old.
Alright, Cartel. And I feel I should be 22. Because it's like almost
She's
there.
lying.
Okay, I'm 21, so I'm almost 22.
Yeah, but her birthday's coming up. We're so excited.
So, we're dropping an episode on my birthday, right?
I think so. Yeah. Homegirl wants cereal.
So.
Homegirl wants cereal for her birthday, so y'all send it.
Life.
Y'all send it.
Cereals is life. Facts. So basically, what are the 20s?
Kind of like the terrible 2s. Times a whole lot.
We'll give you a different perspective on what we think, like our personal opinion on what the 20s are, what we see them to be. So for me, the 20s are the complex age. It is where so many things happen. It's like a street in Tokyo. It's hella busy. Everything is happening all at once. I watch Tokyo Drift, so I've been there. People can relate. Right? It's been... Why you interrupted? I made a good reference. You can't just let us...
I was just curious, like, when did you get a passport?
My jaw hurt. I have a passport. So, basically, it's just like everything happens all at once. Some of you don't even know how you got into your 20s. It's like a crash landing, and everything started hitting you. Parents stressing you out, school, not being able to get stuff done, feeling like you're behind time, changing friends, finding... For the people that can't see this thing, this girl pelting his cat.
You're lying.
Finding the support system, getting your grades, your GPA right, all of these other stuff. So basically, it's just a whole turmoil, and for most people who've experienced anxiety on a whole different level, depression, trying to fit in with the new people, trying to do all these other stuff, being told by your parents, you need to, be structured and save. Save what money?
You gotta save.
But you gotta save. You have to do this, do that, and all these other stuff, different opinions, people chiming in on your life, wanting you to go all these directions career-wise. So it's basically like a midlife crisis in the quarterly part of your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Exactly. So for me, that's what it is. It's just a complex age where everything is happening all at once. It's confusing. Half the people don't know what they want to be in their 20s. At 15, you wanted to be a teacher. You wanted to be a pilot. Ask me why I want to be in my 20. Alive. Breathing. I want to survive. I want to meet me next birthday, fam. I just want to be alright. God.
Wow.
That's just it. Crazy.
Okay.
What about you?
For me, I feel like your 20s is basically like the ultimate paradox, right? So for me, at least, I've got no children beyond the cat, right? So I've got no children. I've got no family like of my own. I have my mother and my father, but no husband, no children, no nothing. So it's just basically me by myself. My parents take care of me. I've got no college debt, no nothing. So there's no responsibility on my part, but at the same time, there is so much responsibility because the 20s for me are the defining decade. That's when I have the opportunity to make the most impact in my life. I'm basically laying the foundation for what's going to follow in the decades to come. Right? I read somewhere that your 20s, that's where, most of the defining moments happen. You reach the most potential in terms of your wage growth during this decade. You women, at least, they peak fertility wise at 28, right? Your brain somewhere red caps off at your 20s during this decade. So, geez, I mean, I have nobody that I'm responsible for, but I am 100% responsible for myself. And if I waste this time, then I'll be spending my 30s running around trying to get things in order. And I'd rather not. I'd rather have my ducks finally in line in 30.
Try to wing it at your 20s. That's like the time where you want to wing everything. Like,
who wants to wing it? No.
Ask a regular 20-year-old what they want to do.
Are you not calling me a regular 20-year-old? I am a regular.
We're winging it. What are you doing in the next fight? I'm winging it. Whatever comes, happens.
I feel like
it's not structured. It's not healthy to be living like that. But like at this point, mean able. I can't bother.
I feel like I feel it's silly, right? Because every year there's supposed to be some sort of progress. I understand, okay, at 20 years old, you may be just coming out of that whole teenage mentality. So you're winging it. But at 21 and 22 and 23, I don't expect that to constantly be your mindset.
Yeah, true.
It needs to have some sort of progression because then what?
I feel in life you can only wing it to a certain stage, and then it's almost like trying to pretend to be something until you're placed in a position whereby it's either do or die, and pretending doesn't work or it doesn't cut it. And that's like 22, 23. You can't pretend to wing stuff anymore or pretend to be going with the flow. Life is hard.
I know some questionable 23-year-olds, but my daddy always says that if you fail to prepare, then you prepare to fail. So if you don't do it now, then you're in trouble later.
Success only comes through hard work. Somebody said that.
I mean, some people have their success stories happening later on in life, but let me try it now. So just in case the success wants to come early, then by all means, adahe. Okay. So we asked a few people. Well, Renata and I put it up in our statuses, asking our followers what their 20s, what they expected from it, and what the reality really was. See, my followers, they're not very interactive. Y'all need to do better than that, because only one person responded to me, right? Big up yourself, sir, right? He said that the reality of his 20s is that he's got little or no energy. He goes out for one night, and it literally feels like a carnival experience, and I could relate, right? See, I don't go out often, but on that one night that I'll choose to go out at 12 o'clock because the curfew is 2 and the party will be shut off, it takes me literally an entire week to recover from it.
No problems.
I don't, right? What? It's not problems. I'm just a tired young woman. That's all. Okay.
So basically for this, we're looking at the expectation versus the reality. Like what we expect to happen in our 20s, all these plans, Lifetime obviously fooled a lot of you out here thinking you'll be in
I
love
feel
happily
personally
ever
victimized,
after.
Renata. Please don't be throwing shade in my direction.
Also, all those cartoons, because some of y'all choose not to watch SpongeBob, but y'all want to watch Barbie princesses, whatever, and everybody ending up with the prince.
Yo,
in a
I will
heart, a
not
horse,
have you disrespecting Barbie
and
movies
being
out here.
rich and wearing all these dresses. So now, when you reach your 20, the expectations that you had versus your reality is just like, well, damn. So Elizabeth said, not the 20s, but the hashtag legal 18 expectations employed living good and forever going out or socializing. Reality check, unemployed and forever sleeping. Most of us could relate to the forever sleeping.
Nah, that was me in my past life. Not know that I am in medical school.
Sleep is life.
I can't do it. I wake up as soon as the sun comes up. Okay, so Ash B, who was Renata's friend, said that her expectation was being super happy. In her words, exactly. I guess I thought that I would be married. LOL. First boyfriend, had that in my head. I wanted to find job. I'm being thankful, and the list goes on. But reality is, I'm in a relationship that's extremely toxic, and I'm still here. Not a day goes by that I'm not having an emotional outburst. Yeah, the job is cool with a lot of issues, but I need reassurances at times that I'm actually worthy. I'm not that happy. Okay.
My friend, shout out to Riri, she said, I expected to be married by 22 with the love of my life and a couple degrees.
At 22, sis?
In my own crib and a decent ride, reality. I'm with the love of my life with a suffering job, living with my mom and 6 white mouth siblings. She's calling her brothers and her sisters white mouth. Anyways, no ride, a few sexy passes that I managed to scrape, and a crass in mother-in-law. Let me just put it, because that's exactly what she said. And don't talk about how hard it is being an adult. That is what she said.
Okay, so Ebony said going to college while holding down a part-time job, married and happy. Those were her expectations, but the reality is I'm a college dropout because I can't afford tuition, working a full-time slave job, and still struggling to pay rent and bills, and I'm emotionally confused, plus constantly struggle with meltdowns and panic attacks.
And there you have it. That's some of some people's actual reality from what they expected to be going through in their 20s. And you find this a lot. That's why we call it the 20s. It's like, these are definitely the side effects. See? Catchy. So what do we want to look at next?
We're going to tell them about what we expected.
Oh, yeah. Before we go on. Sure. Go ahead.
I just finished Ebony's. Your turn.
Oh, Lord. What did I expect? Honestly, I had no fairy tale envisioned. Nothing with the whole married by 25, whatever. Because I grew up under a lot of older folks, and I am very much into the conversation. And my cousin, her mother-in-law, was saying something that was really interesting. She said, I don't know why young people are so fixated on wanting to be married by 25, finishing your whole law career or an entire career and having a child and, living happily ever after. Sometimes the child comes before the career is finished, and sometimes marriage don't come till you're 30, you're 40. Then what do? Do you give up on life in the whole? Indicating that not everything happens as planned, and sometimes you just need to live life as it comes. We're not saying not to be prepared or not to at least try to structure it out, but just accepting it the way it comes. For me, I just wanted to have a job where I was having a steady income because I want my independence, and more so I like it, and to be traveling because I'm obsessed with beaches and ice cream and culture. Culture is one of those things that I want to explore, not only ours but other countries. So yeah, I really had no plans of marriage, and for a very long time it has never been in the books to get married, because I grew up whereby seeing my cousin have the only successful marriage of the entire family, and everybody else is common law or change baby fathers, or they're just living by themselves and dating. So it wasn't one of those things that I looked forward to, had no interest, basically. But my reality is I didn't expect to not be single, so that wasn't any big, surprise. So of course I'm single. I had to resign from my last job because it didn't go well with UG and the timing. Almost dropping out of UG. Sad, but true. Tuition fees are terrible. Dependent. Aziz is already giving me her cough.
I am not.
Dependent on people who want to see me succeed or want to see me not crumble in a sense, and dependent on their support, both emotionally and financially. And what else? Still haven't traveled as yet. Still haven't went anywhere. I haven't left the country, which is sad. But
She went to Tokyo though.
in Tokyo Drift, everybody went to Tokyo Drift. But those are my reality. Yep.
Okay, for me, Renata already knocked the whole Lifetime watching thing. There was a part of me that after watching a bunch of Lifetime movies expected to have the marriage and the house. Not the children too young, right? But at least
White picket fence
type thing. But then there was the child, the tomboy in me that was like, nope, you know what? So we can get a good job. We can be traveling. We can do a whole lot of stuff. By 25, you know, we can at least been to like 5 or 6 different countries, not counting the one that you live in. Right? I'd probably be a real successful lawyer because at the time that's what I wanted to do. My reality is I'm a 5th year medical student. I haven't graduated as yet. My exams got pushed back because of a mix-up with my school. So that's a bit late. I'm single. So there's definitely no white picket fence. I live in an apartment with a whole bunch of other people. I am comfortable. My parents take care of me, but we are going through a rough patch.
Shout out to Mr. Cook. Miss Basad.
My mother is saying, who is Passad? Oh wow. Anyway, right. My reality isn't as bad. I just sometimes struggle with the whole thinking that everything is not happening as fast as it should. Yeah. Focus, Renata.
Sorry.
Okay.
But you guys can hit us up. Tell us what your expectations were versus your reality. Maybe we could get some good stories.
Yeah, I feel like everybody probably got some stories.
True.
You must have stories. I guess like the main thing that we've seen with the people who have commented is one reality of your 20s is that you have a whole lot of responsibility, right? A lot of us, because of the influences that we had growing up, had this ideal in our head that your 20s were supposed to be real easy, and then it's not, right?
That is the reality hitting you. So let's go on to responsibilities. Like, what are some of the responsibilities you find the regular 20-year-old having? For me, one of my responsibilities when I was working was to pay the bill. And even after I stopped working, it was to help pay bills. Most Caribbean households or families, that's like one of the things. It's like a rite of passage. Okay, you walking out, all right, cool, good. Light bill. You splitting it or you taking the whole thing? So it's just that was one of the things. Ensuring that I was taken care of, because at first I couldn't, and then, you know, if I wanted to buy something for myself, get something done, I am in that position where I can afford to do that. So responsibilities in the sense of not only bills, but taking care of yourself, taking care of you mentally. A lot of the responsibilities for me as a 20-year-old was kind of financial, because you realize that you need stuff, but then you can't just wish it, so you have to pay for it. Like, does that make any sense? Like, you have to pay for it. You have to pay to be comfortable. If you moved away from your parents, you're living in an apartment, you have to pay bills, you have to pay rent. You're going to UG and you need to help with your tuition fee. You have to put money towards that, put money towards getting there back and forth. So everything financially was a huge part of being responsible.
For me, I don't have a lot of financial responsibilities because my parents take care of me. At the moment, things are a bit different than what we are accustomed to, being 100% comfortable, there are a few issues. So now I think like the only thing my parents expect me to do is to do good in school, survive until the month end comes, and then we move on to another one, and then we see how we will approach that. But my main responsibility is just myself, making sure that I don't squander the opportunities that they've afforded me. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I think like another thing with another reality of your 20s is that you're probably most likely, unless you come from a real well-off family, you're gonna be broke a good bit of the time.
Oh God.
Right?
Jesus.
Ramen is your friend.
The cup ramen.
No, ew. No. Give me like
the pack one?
I prefer the pack.
Cup is easy because sad man are lazy.
Wow.
So you just hot up some water and you... That thing don't even... I sure that thing is not healthy, but...
It's not. My aunt told me that there's some plastic or something.
Alright, I don't eat it. Alright.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Don't eat ramen, but eat ramen because, you gotta survive somehow.
Yo, the broke face is very real. Having to skip out on... Having to lie to your friends. Yo, I tired. But you dead broke. But if he's your real G's like, alright, no. Listen, we ain't got lime at me house and we ain't got drink brown rum and somebody got put $40 buy ice.
What?
So like we can't go out. Like you're not afforded that whole spontaneous, oh, I'll get dressed, or oh, this event is coming up, I get to buy this outfit. You don't have that. We don't have that.
I mean, I feel like with the outfit and going out and stuff, another reality of your 20s is that you have to make sacrifices.
True.
Right? You can't want to have the good grades, and I mean, kudos to whosoever does it, but I personally am not that person, right? Go out and still have the good grades and everything else. Sometimes you will have to say, hey, you know what? I can pass on the party. I've got a test. I've got something to do. I can't afford to do this because I've got to do this instead. Right? You have to make some level of sacrifice.
And it's important to not beat yourself up. And I have to learn this personally, that Renata, you do not need to go to every tinning cup that knock me mother like set up. Every tinning cup that knock you. And then because of recent being that person, I'm invited to a lot of places, a lot of parties, a lot of events, and sometimes I really have to say no. Listen, I don't want to come here. I don't have to. And majority of the time it's because I'm broke. And sometimes it's okay, like you're broke, or not completely broke, but you have money, but it's to go to class. I have to get to class next week, or this is the money for classes next week.
Or my parents sent me X amount and this has to last because we can't afford to be sending you money all the time.
Yeah, and that's a grown move whereby you're not choosing to party and squander your money when you know that your priorities need to be in order and this is where it needs to go. So being broke, like, don't be ashamed of it, but try not to dwell on it to the sense that it depresses you. And I mean, it gets to us a lot, sometimes.
Yeah, it does bother me sometimes.
We've been planning to go to a brunch for the longest.
Right, nothing fancy.
2 months ago.
Just sit down and
I'll know.
Carry.
I'll know. So you see, it's just one of those things, but obviously it's all a part of the process.
Right. And then everything takes time, right? But try not to linger too long because you're kind of running out of time too, so you need to...
It's funny how that works.
Right? Yeah. The ultimate paradox. True. Honestly.
True.
Right? So...
People say you have the time, you're in your 20s, you have a lot of time.
Life goes by quickly. So if you waste opportunities, if you wait too long to do something, then you might wake up one morning and realize you're too old to do it.
I'm 30 with this grown man.
Why are you saying 30 like 30 old?
30 isn't old, but it's just...
30 is not the new 20, that's all. Right? Do what you gotta do in your 20s.
It's just that before you know it, you're already in your 30s, but then you still feel like you had time. Like, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so now we're going to tell you about some lessons that we learned based on the expectations that we had.
Based on
and our reality. So, Renata.
I'll go first. Okay. Failure is inevitable. Listen. Y'all need to understand that majority of us take for granted or do not acknowledge or do not even want to encounter failure. Like, we need to have perfect grades, we need to have the perfect support system, the perfect friends, the perfect setup, the perfect lifestyle, and believe that we don't fail at anything. But reality check, if you don't fail, you do not learn. and I strongly believe that. I had to learn how to fail at certain things. Just to not perfect it, but to be better at it, to allow myself to be better at it. And in life, you will not pass every single thing. Like, your life will not be 100% whereby your grades are good, whereby your relationships are good. And sometimes things indirectly affect the others.
Yeah.
Trust and believe it does.
With me, I had to learn it. I felt like, the failure at certain points kind of humbled me. Mm-hmm. Right? Because going into medical school, I was never accustomed to feeling anything. Everything just came easy academically. So the first failure, I called my father up and I'm like, yo, I can't do this. I'm dropping out. Right? We can find something else for me to do. Right? But the failure just pushed me like, okay, you know what? We're not rich. We kind of poor. So you need to finish what you started. Put you all into it. And if after giving it your best shot, it doesn't work out, then talk to me.
As a learner to transition, one
right?
of my failures that I still don't openly speak on is not being able to do law. Not only because I couldn't afford it, but because at that point in time, my mental state was terrible. And all of my friends, not all of them, majority of them actually, 98% of them, went over to studying law. And I mean, I felt at the time, and this is the funny thing, sometimes a failure isn't really a failure.
It's not.
A setback for you.
Yeah.
It's just like a different change in your road, because this is what you expected to happen, but it doesn't. And sometimes our reality, we see it as failure, which definitely isn't the case.
It's not.
And I mean, I probably wouldn't have been happy doing law. I mean, I'm studying communication. And it is one of the best decisions that I've ever made. My HOD is amazing. The faculty is amazing. It is interactive. I get to speak my mind. I get to learn. And it's really nice. And I probably wouldn't have felt that way doing law. So to me, it wasn't really a failure, but that's how we see things.
And then you have to realize that not everybody is walking around broadcasting their failures.
Thank you.
Most people just walking around telling you the success stories.
They don't. True.
I feel like that's why I'm so attached to my blog, because I feel like I take a different approach. Rather than telling you like everything's good, I literally tell you like, hey, so I've been in some relationships and they were terrible. I had issues with my body. I had a borderline eating disorder. I tell you everything about what I've dealt with, right? Because I know it's part of my process. I've accepted it.
Yeah, I think, and it's unavoidable. You cannot want to pass with flying colors with everything you encounter in life. Right. And this happened to me when I got, I won't say rejected, but that's how it felt. But when consecutively, I didn't get the job offers that I wanted, and I felt as though I had failed. But it was like the way it worked, the way this God worked. It's just that I had to try those things, and then sometimes what we find. Okay, I feel like I'm getting extremely deep. But
I feel like we talk.
But sometimes you find that you weren't prepared for the thing that you were asking for, that you wanted so bad, and hence you didn't get it, and you see that as a failure. But then if you think twice about it, like, was I ready to do this? Was I ready to go into nursing or to be a doctor? Was I mentally prepared? Was I mentally stable? So all of these things.
Yeah, you should look at it as though it's building character. That's all. Yeah, okay. So my first one is protect your joy at all costs, honestly, right? I feel like I have mastered...
Still your joy? This is on.
Wow. Anyway, I feel like I'm a master at overanalyzing, overthinking, second guessing almost everything. But then I've also come to terms with the fact that I need to take responsibility for the consequences of my actions and the choices that I make and everything, right? So apart from being careful with the choices that I make in order to protect my peace of mind, which I feel becomes more of a priority as you get older, right? There are also relationships and situations that you may put yourself in that you may need to distance yourself from, because at the moment it's not contributing anything to your growth.
It is toxic. Tell them it is toxic. You need to go. You need to leave. Leave right. That. I don't know who needs to hear this.
there is nothing wrong with
Leave
saying
that girl.
that this is not for me. This is not helping me in any way. This
And
hurts
it's
me
true.
more than it does benefit me. So I'm walking away to protect my joy.
Sometimes you just gotta cut ties.
Right? Avoid
Not any
fights,
personal
right? Like,
stuff.
you're too old for that nonsense. Just avoid them like a plague because nobody ever wins a fight, right? Just walk away.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
For me, I've learned that growth is pain and pain is growth. You cannot have one without the other. And I've had to learn this several times because I didn't get it the first time or the second or the third. So I needed to learn. And I've grown from a lot of things that caused me pain, relationship-wise, family-wise, personally dealing with my own stuff, my self-esteem and all these things. I've grown, I've become, and surprisingly, that person whereby I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm comfortable with the woman I'm becoming. I'm comfortable with the circle I have created, and more so that has been sustaining me to level. And I realized that I wouldn't or I couldn't have gotten this far without experiencing heartbreaks, without experiencing being lied to or cheated on or taken for granted, all these other stuff, which was of course painful, but you live, you learn, and you grow, basically.
My daddy does this thing. He did it like this morning, and it broke my heart. Like it always does. He apologizes almost every day. If an issue pops up with my school or something, he apologizes to me for sending me to the school that he did, in the country that he did, for being so far away that my support system isn't at home right next to me, walk into the other room and be like, hey daddy, what's up? Instead, it's a phone call, right? Or it's a video call, or it's a text message. And I try to get him to understand that bad things happen while I was here, right? A lot of things happened, and if we could go back, we could probably change it. But it have a different effect if I never experienced all of these things. Because, for example, when I came back to Ghana, I was shy to the point that I was afraid to go pay bills, go out in public. I never would have considered public speaking or blogging or anything of the sort. And I understand that he's bothered by all of the things that I've dealt with, but I don't regret it. I am grateful for everything that has happened in the past 5 years. So daddy, stop apologizing for it, right? I appreciate you, I love you, but we're moving forward with everything.
Just the hand thing.
Anyway, so the other one, my second one, I think hobbies are important. Right? I
Find you a hobby.
Yes.
That is,
I really cannot deal with those people that are forever bored. Like I don't get bored with my own company. I either pick up a book, I read, or like at one point I had this really cool phones. I was very into photography. I paint, I blog, I write poetry. I do too many things to be bored with my own company.
Yeah, and don't text me when you're bored. Why people do that? It is annoying.
Right? I feel like you could pick something. Okay, you've never tried it. Like the other day, I made earrings for the second time.
Which is really good.
Right? Like it was a different kind. I got embroidery thread and everything. It was craft, and I wanted to try something new to occupy my time, keep my mind active. So pick something, do anything.
Yeah. I started taking on projects that I didn't think I'd do. Going into schools, running with this movement, workshops. So yeah, I feel I'm never bored with my own company. There's always something that I'm willing to learn, or something I'm yet to try, or something I want to read up on or catch.
There's a whole lot of things. Like I really cannot deal with people who are bored. Yeah, don't message me at all. Lose my number if you ever message me and say, hey, I'm bored. Sorry.
Oh, this one. Sometimes you're the toxic one. That is my thing that I had to learn.
I'm sorry.
This was so hard because this was a truth that was slapped in my face. I couldn't ignore it. That sometimes I'm the toxic one, and then I did this thing whereby I couldn't sit and listen to people criticize me, even though that criticism was coming from a place whereby they weren't trying to hurt me or make me feel bad, but they were just saying, "Listen, you do this and." It is not cute. It is not becoming. It is just unacceptable. And if you send me that in a voice note, I would listen to half the voice note. That's how I would cringe. I couldn't listen out like, because it's like, is this me?
Yeah.
Accepting that you're the toxic one, sometimes you just have to do it. No argument. Do not argue. Just be like, okay, I'll do better. And it's important to acknowledge, okay, I did this wrong. To this person, I was being very, very aggressive or angry or whatever the case might be. She's laughing because
it's me. Like
she should know.
I did it recently, and it was
that'd be her.
Renata and I had a long conversation, and I did do the cringing thing with the voice notes because, to be honest, it was tough sitting there listening to these things that I did that were wrong.
Yeah, sometimes even if you don't want to term yourself the toxic one, you did something wrong. So
sometimes you have to own up to it.
Very much, right? Take responsibility and move up. Yeah, I had to learn that. Oh God, jeez. Still a process.
Anyway, what Renata is saying kind of plays right into my next one. Apologize, right? Never withhold an apology if it's merited, right? Honestly, like
you apologize to me first because you did wrong me first, and if you didn't say that, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't even do that. It's your fault.
Anyway, right? I hate being wrong. See, what I do before I act on something, before I say something, normally I get quiet. I deliberate it for however long I need to. And then when I feel like, okay, I'm in a calm place that I could come to you and we could speak about this, then I will. Right? Or I'll deliberate on an action before I do it. So when I spend all of that time deliberating, or I do something, I act out a character and I act or respond immediately, it devastates me. and the apology literally hurts my soul. But I've been taught this by my daddy. Plus there is a friend of mine, Peculiar. I don't know if you're listening, but big up yourself, right? They both, like, they taught me, or they kept emphasizing that, hey, you know what, sometimes you need to apologize. And my daddy says this thing, sometimes you need to give up your right to peace too. So sometimes you need to offer the apology, especially as soon as possible too, because sometimes you let it linger and then resentment will fester. So I am publicly doing this, right? I did something terrible on Saturday and I'm sorry. Yeah, there's no explanation, no excuse. I'm just sorry.
And sometimes that's all you need to be.
Yeah.
You don't need to give an explanation for it. You just need to just say,
own up to it.
Be man enough, be woman enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. Mine is we're all broken. Either we're cracked or shattered. But healing is extremely important. For our last season, we spoke a lot about Iyanla, our life coach, and from the books that we were reading, and you know, putting ideas out there and what we've learned or what we've read to you guys. And healing is like a prominent thing. She always speaks about it, and it's true because Zee and I were talking about being broken. People don't always wear their worries on their face, or they don't always wear their problems, but. Even if you think somebody has the perfect life, somewhere inside of them they might feel broken for some reason. And I feel a lot of people don't focus on healing. They understand that they're broken and they're like, I don't have time to sit down and reassess and all this, so they're so busy. But the healing process is extremely important. I had to take a step back and say, you know what, I am doing some very unhealthy things. I'm practicing some very unhealthy habits. I know what the issue is and I just need to tackle it directly. I need to cut this off. I need to stop doing this, and I need to just heal for myself. And it all falls under self-love and self-care. It is very, very important for people who take your healing for granted. Trust and believe it shows up in your relationships. When you least expect it. In everything that you plan on doing, because of course it's like, you bleed on people that didn't cut you, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Like Renata said, self-love and so on. There's also self-forgiveness. I feel like a lot of times we overlook it, right? You do something, you feel guilty about it, rather than
you carry that guilt.
Than owning up to it, facing it, and doing whatever you need to get rid of it. You hold on to it. You sit there and you beat yourself up for years, and sometimes you don't realize that you block your own blessings. Yes, it's important to forgive other people. You forgive, you forget, and so on. But then there's also you that you need to stop overlooking and forgive yourself for that mistake, or for not doing what you were supposed to, for missing a job opportunity, or anything of the sort. As small as it may be to as big as it may be, it's important.
Okay, mine. Oh, that's actually good with the
Yeah.
Anyways, for me, one of the things that I've learned in doing my poetry and doing public speaking to an extent is believing in something. And I realized that a huge amount of people do not believe in anything. So it's easy to sway their minds. It's easy to use rhetoric to convince them of something.
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
So I feel strongly in the fact that you need to believe in something, whether it's religion, whether it's culture, whether it's a way of life, whether it's something you practice. I honestly think that you need to believe in something. For me, I believe in people doing things to others that they would like others to do to them, and I practice that myself. I believe in being fair to other people and not this is not being naive. These are just things that I believe in. These are things that I will stand for and I will fight against, and it is one of those things. And I've learned how to be very active in social ills and speaking out on the healthcare system and bashing people when needs be, because
girl out here and she can be a whole activist in a couple of months. Give her some time.
Give me some protest ideas, right? So it's just believing in something and you stand for it and you go and you don't talk the talk if you're not willing to walk the walk. And that's something that I'm a living embodiment of, and that's what I'm trying to do. Yep.
Okay. My other one is, I believe the way you focus your energy, that's where everything will grow. So whether it's your muscles at the gym that you're focusing all of your energy on, or the thoughts that you put out into the universe about your life and the things that you want for yourself, if you sit there and you put out only negative thoughts, then that's all you're going to attract, whether it's the job, the relationship, the travel experiences, whatever it is, the friendships, everything. If you think negative thoughts, then they will manifest, right? And you'll look around one day, you'll wake up and you'll be some old lady, and then you'll realize that you lived nothing but a negative life. You've got no good stories to tell, right? And then what happens too is that if you sit there and you think about all of this negativity, then that's all you're going to be able to spew everywhere that you go.
And that's true. For a very long time, I've been telling myself that I can't do certain things. And then when I do muster up the courage to try to do it, it's almost like I just couldn't, because I've convinced myself that I couldn't. And that has manifested. And I'm very, very conscious of my thinking and what I let into the universe and say and do, because I know shit will come back to you.
Yeah. Like, most mornings I wake up and the first thing I do is like, okay, today's gonna be a good day. Or something goes bad and I remind myself, right? Or I pray. Like, the amount of times that I pray during the day is laughable.
Yeah.
What I do, right? Something goes wrong and then I say that little short prayer and I feel like as though I'm fortified and I could take on anything, right? Plus, like, everybody has this habit. Most people have this habit. Like, something goes wrong, and you're like, you know what? It can't get any worse than this.
And then it does.
But yeah, exactly. And then it does. But what I do, I say it in reverse. Like, hey, you know what? It has to be able to get better from this point. Like, some good has to come out of this. All of these bad things aren't happening for no reason. There is something that's waiting for me on the other side of all of this bad. So yes, and all my good, I'm ready for it now.
Yeah, praying for clarity and discernment is one of the things I've had to learn how to do, to just calm my mind. Because days you just have one bad thing happening after the other, and it's just consecutive, and you're like, okay, what is going on?
Yeah.
But sometimes you just need to calm your mind, like, okay, if today is not good, tomorrow is going to be even better. So, yep.
You got the next one?
No, that's okay. Mine is finished.
I got one more. Build meaningful relationships. Right.
Well, that's interesting.
As like, we still have to put out the support system podcast. That one kind of slipped from us, or did we put it? I'm not sure.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, but we've got a support system podcast that we spoke about, where we talk about the importance of having a circle, right? As much as you may want to be a loner, you need people around. People to remind you on your bad days. No man is an island. We put it out.
Facts.
Yeah, right? No man is an island. On bad days, you'll need somebody to remind you. On good days, you'll need somebody to share your stories with. You need people. So build meaningful relationships. People that will add some sort of positivity to your life, rather than sitting there drinking, smoking, and just wasting your life. Just, everybody fostering this whole toxic mentality. It's silly. And something that I see a lot of young people do, like myself sometimes included, something goes wrong and I'm real quick to think like, hey, just burn this bridge. It's wasting my time. I don't need all of this drama. I don't need all of this stuff. But the older you get, the more tact you need to develop when it comes to dealing with certain situations. You're no longer a child. You can't just be lashing out, fighting at everybody, cussing everybody out.
True.
You need to be able to manage relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does. My daddy did say he said that saving is important. Like, he gave me an entire saving speech this morning when we were on the phone, and I don't think like a lot of people think about it.
I don't that much either. I just feel like I want this, I get it now because I have the money, and then before I know it, I'm broke by the end of the week, having important things to do but stuck in my house and can't move. So saving is very important.
Yeah.
But it's a process. You don't just wake up and then you learn how to be a master saver.
But you need to work on it and think about the future, whether it's an emergency or something that you want to save towards. Okay, so we're getting ready to close off because we talked a bit longer than we expected.
But I hope you guys enjoyed. We're back to young.
Y'all forgive us. It's the first episode. We missed y'all on a slide. Okay, so one final thing. Renata, what do you do, or what would you say to somebody who thinks that they're stuck at 20? What advice would you give?
I feel this is me talking to myself, also talking to you guys, because
also
I
talking
have
to
felt
me
on so many occasions that I've been stuck. Is not to be afraid to do the do-over. Like, do not do the do-over. Like, it's okay, because a lot of people and a lot of times we compare what we're going through with other people's lives, and it's a don't do it. Stop. If you're doing it, just stop instantly, because your time is your time. That person's time is that person's time. So you have to work with what's going on with you right now, and you have to strongly believe that if you feel you're stuck, then you need to do something different. Either your thinking needs to change, or you need to have a different route in terms of where you plan on going.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Get up and get going.
For me,
I'm talking to myself. I'm lazy.
For me, I think that one thing is that you may be too comfortable, and nothing grows in your comfort zone. So maybe, I'm sorry, I'm getting hoarse. I've been talking too much. But maybe you need to start doing something. Get up. If you've been doing one thing and it's not working, then feel free to shake it up a bit. Do something different. Put in the work. Don't give up, because sometimes it's easy to be like, yo, I've been working at this for so long and it ain't work out as yet.
You know what? Jobs, same relationship.
Maybe I should just give up. Another thing too, I will forever blame social media for almost everything. We need to stop comparing ourselves to each other, right?
Not everybody shows you their struggles.
Not everybody shows you their struggles.
We need to put that on a t-shirt.
And
not everybody shows you their struggles, and that is so true.
What you need to stop doing is comparing your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 23, right? Because you have no idea how much work they've put in to get to the point that they're at.
True.
You're just at the beginning of your journey sometimes.
They have to endure just to get there.
Just to get to this
and
success.
That's why we don't just judge people off the bat. That's something that they had to go through, that they had to struggle, and sometimes your struggle is going to be different. The narrative, of course, isn't going to be the same. So if you feel that you're stuck, you need to do something different.
You need to do something different. Get up. And maybe rather than sitting there thinking about all of the expensive things, invest in experiences. Go out, go travel. Well, traveling may be a little tough because
you 20.
We broke. But go try something new. Go somewhere. Read a book. Read books.
Please.
The cheapest way.
I'm telling you this, and I didn't even like reading books.
The cheapest way to travel is probably to read a book.
You have ebooks, you have audiobooks. I have no excuse.
There are a whole lot of things, right? Fortify your mind so that you'll be better able to handle challenges that may come at you.
Right? Right quick before we go, we just want to read this comment where John Thomas responded to Elizabeth. Thompson. Why am I saying Thomas? John Thomas.
Yeah.
Sorry. So he said, you want to read it or should I?
You should go ahead.
He said, get up time for you to do something, for you to do some networking. There will be a limited time to choose. Time is ruthless. It takes prisoners. It could chew you up and spit you out. So you must choose wisely. A wrong choice could bring regrets, a lifetime of pain and broken dreams. Whew, okay.
Yeah.
And most important of all, we must remember there is no guarantee of success. Life will throw curveballs we least expect to come our way. A weekly routine of physical fitness should be incorporated in your lifestyle. It could help take you in a positive direction. The rest is up to you, chance or choice and application.
Yo, and
he's 55.
He's 55, and you should see Mr. Thompson.
The body.
Right? That's another thing. Chill, Renata, jeez. Right. We need to take care of ourselves.
True.
Because if there's anything that I've learned from my rotations in the hospital is that these diseases, they don't just show up overnight. They're usually a lifetime of you not taking care of yourself.
True.
And then it pops up.
So indulging in your habits and thinking you only live for now, you only live once. No, honey.
It's ludicrous, right?
No, honey.
So if you feel stuck, do something different. Stop being afraid of change. Make a plan.
You cannot grow without change.
Make a plan and work towards it.
And then everything takes time, and your time, of course, is different. You got to remember that. So you thinking, this thing is taking forever to finish, just let up.
Yeah. Okay. So close this out.
Yes.
All right. So I guess my takeaway is that I'm telling you guys all of these things, and I'm sitting here listening to everything. I'm most likely going to sit here and listen to this podcast over and over, because even though I'm saying these things to you, ideally, I'm teaching myself. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm still learning. I still haven't fully appreciated everything that I'm capable of, everything that I should be doing, but I am in my meantime.
Yeah.
Right? I'm putting in my work to make sure that whatever it is that's meant to be for me will find me, but I won't sit there twiddling my thumbs. I am uncertain because this is my 20s, but I will never be this uncertain ever again because I'm gradually learning as the days go by. Yeah.
My takeaway from it is your 20s and there is a lot that will be going on. It is a lot, but everything is a learning process. You live, you learn, and you grow. Of course, everything is a learning process. And in your 20s, that is where you learn the most. Even if it's the hard way.
Yeah.
You learn the most.
Yep.
So just take it one step at a time. Remember, nobody's rushing you. This is your meantime. You have to do the cleaning. You have to do the work yourself. Nobody's waiting.
Yeah.
You really have no timeline.
Yep.
Even if you do.
Stop being afraid of your 20s too, right?
Go live.
Go lead into it. Go
do
live.
Something that don't
go do something.
From jail,
right? Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Feel free to journal it, blog it, take pictures.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Capture the moment.
Live in the moment. Live in the moment. Trust and believe when you go out and there's no pictures on your phone from that event, you would have had a great time.
Yeah.
Just live in the moment.
Put down the phones a little bit and live. Experience things as they happen. Anyway, look, we've been talking for days way too long. So we're getting ready to leave you guys. We hope that you enjoyed what we had to say. You heard what we had to say.
If you're suffering from the 20s,
it's not a disease, Renata. Jeez.
You will be fine.
Yeah.
Side effects include crazy fun, drunk sex.
What?
I don't know.
Right? Either way, you can have some stories to tell, right?
And hopefully you can share it with us.
Yeah, feel free. Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. We will send you guys the link. We'll
Remember,
put it in.
your 20s is also your rite of passage. Can't get through it without going through that.
Oh, real neat. We're putting that on t-shirts. Anyway, peace.
Bye.
Let me make